Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Well, my friends, it's been almost a year since you've seen me. It's been quite interesting. I kind of want to gear this program to all the tourists that come to the state of Vermont. It's so beautiful. You see many wonderful things. You can even go fishing and catch beautiful fish. They're just jumping out of the water from the Connecticut River to the Lake Champlain. And you would love to catch one of these fish. And I hope you took advantage of the Vermont Free Fishing Day. But we're going to get the program started. I'm Paul Reis, and we're going to have a victory celebration today. I see a lot of things different. I'm sure I'm going to upset many people, and I always hear it 1 out of 10 in my programs that, geez, what you said was hurtful. But I think the Vermont taxpayers, the people, the governor, the attorney general, and representatives truly need to look at some of the facts and what happened. And sometimes, at the end of the day, you just need to apologize to someone, and you can save yourself about 27 years of financial losses, costs, embarrassment by just shaking and saying, I'm sorry. But we're going to start the program here now, and I hope you have some laughs. It's actually going to be rated S&P. So that means some pissing. It means you may pee if you need to go to the restroom, go now. It's going to go kind of fast and funny, but catch the facts here and there. Okay, thank you. As we went fishing, we realized it wasn't an Atlantic salmon, it wasn't a trout, it was actually a Vermont politician. And it just kept squirming and squirming. So, and I haven't even begun to cook it, but if you did catch one of these in Vermont and it's still squirming, you need to cut its head off right at the source of where the problem is. And as you cut the head off, you put it in your pan, okay? And as you oh, we're having trouble with the lighter, but you know what? As you put heat to it, the fish settles down. It's not jumping. Oh, wait. We got to put some more heat to it. So what I'm referencing is every politician in Vermont, long as it's an easy question like environment, education, anyone can answer it because you're for a good environment, you're good for education. But when it comes to the difficult questions, sometimes they don't want to answer. So that's what the prop is about that one. Now we're going to go on to, I bought a coloring book. And you say, wow, a coloring book at his age? Yep, that's right, coloring book at my age. And if you notice on the coloring book, I liked always be kind. And I stayed in the lines, nice colors. But as I went to the second page, it showed a little journey, enjoy the journey. It was enjoying the journey through Vermont. It was all great. There was green grass. Everything was magical and happy going through the mountains, snow, grass. But when I got up towards the Waterbury exit, I started shaking. And a psychologist will tell you sometimes a child will grab a red. There was a lot of anger about Waterbury. And I put 2 and 2 together, and after 20 years of counseling, realized it's the Ben and Jerry thing. Well, we're going to have a little celebration because we won one of the biggest victories for people like myself with post-traumatic stress disorder, learning disability, a little bit of autism, ADHD, and I've overcome a lot of things. And I want to share with anyone out there, if your kids are struggling, do theatrical therapy. It's helped me. But let's start the celebration. We got some poppers, and then I'll tell you what it's about. Whoa! 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 Okay, we're just going to do a few because we don't want to set off a smoke alarm or something. Okay, what is the celebration about? Well, the biggest victory, I think it was almost 20-something years, I battled the Ben & Jerry Corporation for being assaulted with a board on the job. They probably spent $25,000, $30,000 worth of an attorneys. The Liberty Mutual Insurance Company had Lynn & Lynn. Ben & Jerry's had McCormick Fitzpatrick. And at the end of the day, when the case worked its way up to the Vermont Supreme Court, they ruled that basically it was only time barred for statute of limitations, not on my truthfulness. And I laughed, and I was a little mad at first, but then it came to the point I was so happy because I won. I proved my point that Ben & Jerry's could not apologize for assaulting people on the job. And it wasn't just me, it was others. So I'm going to throw some mud at Ben & Jerry's and a few politicians and try to get the show within a half an hour. So I'm going to get it rolling now, and I want you to make your own decision. This was an article in a national paper. Cherry Garcia, actually what used to be one of my favorites, they found small traces of Roundup in their ice cream. I'm not going to get into the legal battles, but Google it on the newspaper. It was a live official story. There's small traces. So I guess if you claim you're organic, you're supposed to be. The next thing we're going to go on to is this flavor is the one that upset me. It says Justice Remix. It says, and they've made $1 billion selling Ben & Jerry's ice cream now, okay? And it says peace, love, social justice, justice for all, not some. And I says, this is a lie. It's a Vermont lie because I never got justice at all, okay? We're going to take right here an award. We're going to give an award. Maybe it's going to be one little swear word, but this is the Paul Reis, it's a toilet paper roll, the Paul Reis 2021 Jackass Award. Now, the Jackass Award is awarded to somebody or a corporation that I feel's truly a jackass. And the first one is Liberty Mutual Insurance. This jackass company sent a police investigator, a great guy, Keith, to my house in 2016 to interview me from Boston, Massachusetts. He interviewed me for an hour. He says, Paul, I believe you. Their own representative for Manchester says, Paul, if we find we did wrong, we will make it right financially to you. Well, they didn't, my friends. They hid behind the law and they did nothing. So they are a runner-up. But once again, this year's #1 Paul Reis 2021 Jackass Award will go to Vermont Finest. You pulled off some good stuff over the years, my friend, so you get the Jackass Award again. Now, if you're concerned about your workplace or anything, and I guess they call it the whistleblower law, don't blow the whistle. Do not blow the whistle. Stop right there. Then you think about calling somebody, OSHA, American Disabilities, Civil Rights, the Vermont Attorney General to file your complaint. They don't answer. They don't want to talk to you. They told me they're understaffed and don't have the people to investigate this kind of stuff. Then, if you're coming to Vermont as a tourist and you love organic stuff, eggs, everything, you can buy in many different places, be very careful because I call it the Vermont Dirty Dozen. Oh no, it's a half a dozen that are dirty. Now, on these dirty things, this one's called Mad Dog. I have all kinds of different names for these politicians. And what I learned in football years ago, I gotta bend down and get a pail, was in football, if you want results sometimes on things, sometimes you butt hit. You gotta crack skulls. And as a linebacker, I learned, ready, set, hop, up, and you have to crack the skull of a politician. That is political crack the skull. Don't physically do it. You will be charged with an assault unless you're Ben and Jerry's and you can assault someone with a board and get away with it. This little thing here, you know, you probably remember the old game. It was called Operation, but I call it Vermont's lie detector test. It says red means lied. On my nose, it will light up red. And the question to Ben and Jerry's is, did Ben and Jerry's Ben and Jerry's, did you tell the court the truth about the assaults on workers? Let's see what their answer is. Uh-oh, it's lighting up red. They have actually lied and perjured themselves to the court system. 27 years from small claims court, Judge Norton, to Judge Michael Kanan in Superior Court. Then when we got to Vermont court, I believe it was Judge Robinson, Judge Eaton, and Judge Carroll. But I don't know how to pursue perjury against a company. But what I can tell you, here's some of Vermont's finest mixed nuts in this can. Okay? Mixed nuts. And they'll be waving to you here at election time, telling you how wonderful things are. But you need to know something. Sometimes politicians can be dumber than a box of nails. And what I find interesting, I picked this up, nails to build a house in Vermont, you have to wait for them to come from Taiwan now. Taiwan to get nails. Another thing is, if you buy light bulbs and you get one that ain't all that bright sometimes, well, I did find a bright one. A light. There's a shining light where people have been abused in the state of Vermont. And I feel I've kind of been that shining light, a spokesman. I have stuck up for workers. I believe in the state of Vermont for 20-something years for workers' rights. So you do have a little shining light, even though the rest are just kind of collecting a paycheck. But we'll put that right there. Now we're going to go on to this little thing. I walk by, and God kind of inspires me to these programs. I don't rehearse them. I looked at my tree, and there's 3 rotten apples. Well, what happens when you have a politician? You may have 1 out of 1,000 that's rotten. It spreads to the crop, and the rest of them become rotten. I'm going to give you a little example. Here, if you've been rubbing elbows too close to the Ben & Jerry Corporation, it's called BJ's elbow grease, made in Vermont. You probably can buy it at any store. It's elbow grease. Go ask for it. It's kind of like a little fake story too, huh? Well, we're going to get to some true stories. And I like to keep simple. I ain't got the best education. I think it's 4.6 grade level. Read 1 book in 12 years of education. And it blows my mind at $20,000 per student times 12 years. I don't know if it was $240,000 or what. But you spent a lot of money for basic stuff. But what I was told years ago by a farmer is these decisions aren't real hard to make. They don't know why people ain't got a job or don't want a job. Well, it's plain and simple. You plant a potato, like I told you. What do you get? You get a potato. And what I say to Vermont companies, if you pay shit, you get shit. You can't expect to plant a potato and get a rocket scientist to work for you. So some of it's pretty simple. This thing here is called a crowbar. So if you're doing carpentry and you need to use one of these, sometimes you take this crowbar and you need to be firm and aggressive. And I believe in Vermont politics, out of all the legislators, there's, like I said, 99% are doing it for the right reason. But for those that have got into the political bed up in Montpelier with Ben and Jerry's, it's time to take the pry bar and pry them lovers away. But I know it's all for the financial money, and you need money to run a campaign. Even Bernie Sanders needed Jerry of Ben and Jerry's to hold his hand through the campaign and help him. So everybody's known. There's going to be a new flavor coming out in Vermont. As you look on the shirt, I sent one up to the Department of Labor guys helping us today with the show. And it says, Vermont's Phony Baloney, Justice Remix. A little fairy tale, a little horseshit. Well, the new company, you can buy these Vermont Finest Sugar Coat ice cream cones. Well, I came up with the idea, put my name on and say I'm Vermont Finest and call it horseshit, Vermont horseshit. So horseshit shirts went out like hotcakes. These might be the #1 thing for the college students. And with that horseshit thing, we're gonna make some underwear, Vermont Finest underwear. And it's made out of 100% hemp. And on the front, it's going to say phony baloney. And I'm hoping these go like hotcakes to the college kids too. And now, we got Polly the parrot. He spies a lot of times, and he investigates things. And Ben & Jerry's, if you're watching this, oh, they're listening. Paul Reis, kiss my ass. Oh, they're not happy. They're not happy, but that parrot, he's been watching a lot of things these days. Now, this is gonna be a bombshell. I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble. But this is a daddy's paddle, a little paddle, so you're easy on people. I'm gonna take it kind of easy on these politicians, because their own law firm didn't know why I was upset. McCormick Law Firm said, I guess I got hit with a little paddle. Well, I need to explain to McCormick Fitzpatrick Law Firm, it wasn't no little paddle, and you know it, David. It was a big paddle, a wooden board that they assaulted workers with at the company. It claims peace, love, and social justice. They didn't even have enough guts to say, we are sorry. I asked the federal judge when I took it to federal court to just have them say sorry. Ben & Jerry's couldn't even say sorry. So if you're watching what goes on in over in Israel, the boycotts, if you've been reading the paper, sometimes to end conflict, you just need to say, I'm truly sorry. I rode my bike today. I prayed for the Attorney General, Bernie Sanders, Ben & Jerry's, myself, that we could just move on. And I am going to move on because I honestly believe Bernie Sanders needs to step down. I was a follower for 20 years, supporter. But Bernie, you were concerned about 10,000 Vermont housing shortage here in Vermont. Well, I hate to say you've been in office. You've known what's gone on. You didn't fix it. I hope you will consider retiring. Senator Leahy, thank you for your service, and I hope you retire. And also, this is a difficult one because I voted for him in years past. He called me, but he didn't keep his word to me. This is the Vermont Attorney General. I asked him to help me, and his office told the local law firm, which it's sad if it's true, that he wasn't going to help me because they were pissed off that I was up protesting in Montpelier. Well, I wrote to the Attorney General and said I wanted to file a formal complaint in Washington, D.C. because under your oath that you took, you're supposed to serve all people. If you don't like me, you serve James Smolnick that was wrapped with a board, or you serve the woman that was served. You had tools in your toolbox, Mr. Attorney General, to do the right thing. I asked you to reach out on my behalf to the Bellows Falls High School. In 2005, we scraped poison paint off of a wall, okay? Poison epoxy paint. It's your own law in the state of Vermont, essential maintenance practices. This is what it looks like. Boxes and cartons of paint chips, okay? This paint was done in 1970, and it was supposed to be done by a certified person, not me, for 10 weeks. I scraped in sand, and we even applied this poisonous paint, Pittsburgh A and B paint, okay? Known to cause cancer in laboratory rats, kidney, nervous system, everything. You did nothing. You did nothing. So your own OSHA guy, Department of Labor, you were supposed to apply this with a certified mask. with separate airflow. You had students in the building, I told the superintendent, okay? Ventilation system has not worked at the school. Students and staff with poison paint. Me and my friends' lips swelled up purple and we could no longer taste our food. This was done not by a certified contractor. You followed no essential maintenance practice at a school with children in. The Attorney General's law he would not enforce. He wouldn't enforce employees being assaulted and poison chemicals at Bellows Falls High School. They should notify everyone that was in the building and have them tested like I was tested in Hanover. Well, anyways, I don't think the OSHA guy would enjoy have to eat some of those chips, huh? Not too good for your system. I ate a lot of them, and I had a lot of that paint. But what I'm going to tell you is, I believe I have enough documentation with the Attorney General. I really would like to, when he called me, he says, if I get elected, I'll help you. He never called me. When I saw him at Springfield Senior Solution, he says, Paul, I'll look into it. Never gets back to me. Well, I'm not going to argue, TJ. The bottom line is, you don't like me, and we're crossing paths. I'm a former boxing champion, okay? So I'm not going to give up with you whatever position. You're head of law enforcement. When a threat was made to me at the school, 18 days went by. You never acted on my civil rights violations in the state of Vermont. I had to go to the Vermont State Police to confirm it and get it investigated. 18 days, okay? Something could happen at that school. My therapist told me to get done or whatever. So, Mr. Attorney General, you have a black eye for the state of Vermont. It is very shameful. And I understand you may run for United States Senate, but I'm announcing today, I want to battle you. I may run for United States Senate too and campaign up in Norwich, Vermont, where I believe you're from. And you know what? You got education, I got common sense, I got truth, and I feel I represent the regular people, not the big lawsuit you won, which I'm happy with, the drug addiction program, but give it to the families that have suffered and lost a loved one. Let's not just spin it through the state. So I'm going to say, this may be shameful, but I need to do it. When I went to a dentist years ago, I had an abscess tooth. And he says, Paul, he says, we're going to get rid of that as a kid. And if you don't get rid of that abscess tooth, it's going to spread to the rest of the teeth. Well, I believe sometimes the Attorney General for the state of Vermont has more power than the governor or anyone. I'm finding that out. He can investigate a lot of things in this town of Bellows Falls, from police department to other issues. He picks and chooses his battles. So I believe on behalf of that, we need to remove some of the action that he's taken before it infects the rest of the state. There goes one. There goes two. Well, what about the stolen car that was reported by Nkuti Law Firm? Did anyone look into that? No? Pull that one out. What about the misconduct that was reported at the police station? No? We'll pull that one out. And then let's look at epoxy paint. You didn't do that. You didn't look into assault on workers. So we're going to pull them all out. And you know what? I think that's going to take care of the problem. I apologize to every law enforcement that the head top cop of the state of Vermont, I'm asking to resign. But I do believe it's time, because you have to represent all. Now we're going to spin this little guy over if I can, and this will pretty much wrap up the show, I think. But I think it's only fair if Vermonters got assaulted on the job that some people on the safety department of the state of Vermont need to get a little spanking here. So we'll try to be gentle. I don't want to upset anyone or break the screen. But on the back of the shirt, Ben and Jerry assaulted workers with a board. No peace, no love, no social justice. Call Paul Reis. We're going to pull these pants down, and it says Vermont Equal Employment. I believe state officials, Montpelier and otherwhere, if you let assaulted workers, we were called temporary pieces of shit working for Ben & Jerry's. I was called the retarded kid working for Ben & Jerry's. And no organization, even the Vermont National Education Association, I was affiliated with 18 years, stood up to help me with a disability. I did it myself. So what I'm saying is for the Vermont National Education Association, the Attorney General, Workman Comp, Public Safety, American Disability, Civil Rights, Union Rights, Human Rights, this is for you and you politicians. Feel it. Oh, there goes an arm. Jeez, don't cry. Up, 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 up. All right. I feel that this theatrical therapy has helped me to move on. But if you're working anywhere in the state of Vermont and feel that you need some type of protection, don't call, don't do any of these things. I found sometimes you just need to get your own protection called lifestyles and change your job in other places you work. Thank you very, very much for watching the program. This will be the last Ben and Jerry's one, and celebrate the victory that a young man with severe disabilities, loss of father at the age of 12, Golden Glove champ, boxing champ, had the guts. Guts are right here, my friends. Guts to stand up to these politicians, and we had to give them the black eye. And as we get ready to run for United States Senate, I look forward to the different jabs, and I want to debate the Attorney General right up in Burlington. But enjoy the show. Like I said, Ben and Jerry's Naked and Afraid, totally exposed. So thank you very much for watching the program, and have a wonderful day. Keep safe and wear your mask and get your shot. All right, thank you very much.